Final episode of ICF Academy. I'd like to introduce our tech specialist, Simon, who's going to pop up our presentation in just a moment. And we're so excited because we're actually presenting today a new initiative for ICF, a camp tour. And so today we get the opportunity to see a behind the scenes of this camp tour, as well as somebody's personal experience of filming it. Oh, one of my favorite parts of our presentation is presenting my co-hosts, River and Olga. They're going to be helping us with some of the translations today, and also will be the hosts of our breakout rooms. Next slide, please. We are many people from around the world, and it is one of those it's one of those things that once you're in the chat and you see where everybody is coming from, that it truly represents almost the hug that we get from seeing that other people from around the world are doing what we're doing, which is trying to provide a space where our staff members and our campers and our families feel seen and heard. And more than ever right now, the world needs camp. The world needs kindness. The world needs hugs. And I just want to say thank you for spending your time with us today on our final episode of ICF Academy for the season. We'll have more seasons next year. Next slide, please. So without further ado, a couple of housekeepings. Please mute until we go to our breakout rooms. If you'd like, use the speaker view, which is in the top right corner, then you'll see the speakers that are primarily speaking. Today, our session is primarily in English with some translations. But in the chat, you can use your own language. Also, please forgive some of the translation errors. We're using online translation systems, and sometimes they can be a little funny in how they do those translations. Breakout rooms with subtitles will happen in English, Spanish, and in Russian. And there is no formal break here today. So if you need to get yourself something to drink or stretch your legs, please do that. Our session today will be approximately 90 minutes long. I'd like to invite my good and dear friend Olga to the stage.
Thank you, Gabs. Спасибо большое. Итак, мы рады приветствовать всех участников. Сегодня у нас финальная встреча Академии ICF. Поэтому вся встреча займет примерно 90 минут. Располагайтесь удобно, берите с собой воду, чай, разминайтесь, если это необходимо. В общем, чувствуйте себя максимально комфортно. Слайды, которые будут в начале, они будут сразу на 3 языках. Пожалуйста, не весь перевод, какой-то перевод делался с помощью технических средств, поэтому простите нас за неточности и небольшие детали, которые не совсем верны. Мы с вами, мы будем рады вашим комментариям в чате. Пожалуйста, пишите комментарии на любом языке, на котором вам комфортно. Также обсуждать и включить микрофоны для того, чтобы пообщаться и задать друг другу вопросы, мы сможем тогда, когда разойдемся в сессионные залы после презентации Джорги. Спасибо большое. Если будут вопросы, можно в чате их также задавать на любом языке. Thank you, Gabs.
Thank you, Olga. I couldn't have done it better myself. River, the stage is yours.
Muy buenos días o tardes a todos. Estamos aquí en la última sesión de la segunda temporada de ICF Academy, donde nos conectamos para aprender. En esta sesión tendremos, pues, como bien saben, el tour de campamentos de Grecia, algunas normas generales para la convivencia de todos a lo largo de la sesión. En primer lugar, vamos a mantener siempre los micrófonos apagados hasta el momento en el que vayamos a las salas separadas. Vamos a tener salas separadas para 3 idiomas, inglés, español y ruso. Yo voy a estar acompañándolos en la sala de español. Pueden utilizar el chat en cualquier momento en su propio idioma y vamos a estar pendientes de contestar las preguntas en español, en ruso o en inglés, la persona correspondiente. Por favor, tengan paciencia con cualquier pequeño error de traducción que haya en los subtítulos o en las láminas. Para muchas de las traducciones utilizamos traductores online y aunque hacemos revisiones del material antes de presentarlo, siempre hay algo que se nos pueda escapar. Les recomendamos utilizar la vista del orador, ya que van a poder ver pues en grande a la persona que están hablando y poder interactuar mejor con ella. No vamos a tener ninguna pausa programada dentro de la charla, entonces bueno, cada quien asuma de alguna manera lo que necesite. Si necesitan agua, búsquenla rápidamente para que la tengan a mano. Si necesitan pararse un segundo para estirar las piernas, pueden hacerlo. Sobre todo en las partes en las que no va a ser necesariamente interactiva, sino que vamos a estar viendo videos o mientras están hablando, pues pueden perfectamente pausar. Igual las sesiones quedan grabadas y si se perdieron de un minutico, después la pueden ver. Vamos a estar tardarnos aproximadamente 90 minutos. Gabs, back to you.
Gracias, River. Thank you so much, Olga. So moving forward, next slide, please. This is our schedule for today. So we're talking about the very newly developed, but we have been working on for a long time, ICF Camp Tours. So we'll be chatting a little bit about that, study other tours step by step. We also will have an opportunity for our breakout rooms to happen to watch these videos and then afterwards chat if you have any questions on how you can get involved, if you want to watch more tours from other camps or also participate and have your camp do their own tour. We'd love to see your camp. You can ask your questions there. And then of course, a nice little message from our ICF president. So without further ado, I'd like to invite to the stage my good friend, my mentor, somebody that's so kind, he has bewildered bears with his kind eyes, John Jorgenson, Jorgi.
I'm always speechless after you introduce me, Gabs. Thank you. And welcome. It's so wonderful. I've seen in the chat how excited people are to see one another, and it's so wonderful to see you all. This is like a breath of summer camp every time we gather together. So my personal thanks for that. As Gabs has said, this has been a bit of a passion for me, this idea of a camp tour. Whenever I come home, and I've had lots of opportunity over the years to travel on ICF Camp Business, and I'm always interested in how things are in different camps. But when I come home, my family and my friends, my fellow staff say, "What did you see?" and tell us about that camp, because so many of us are stuck in our own camps, and it's difficult to travel to other places. So I am blessed, and it has been a wonderful opportunity for me. I know when I was with the local camp association, we do standards visits. So one director will go and visit another camp in order to ensure that they are meeting the necessary guidelines for the local association. But I did my duty, but I always took pictures for my camp. You know, oh, this is a good idea. That's a great idea. And so with that, I thought, what can we do for and with ICF? Because there are so many great camps out there. Next slide, please. So we've been traveling, as I say, for many years on Congress tours. Whenever there's a camping Congress, then before or after the Congress, there's an opportunity to travel and see local camps in action. Linda Pulliam is with us today. Linda Pulliam has spearheaded an incredible opportunity each year at the ACA National Conference in the United States to zero in on the local youth development and camp communities. And so international delegates have been able to hop on a bus and travel together and share together on the way, and then to take a look at camps in different countries. And that has spilled over to other conferences in Tyumen in Russia, when we visit in Moscow. The Mosgor Tour runs a conference each fall, and so we've had an opportunity to visit other camps. Camps in Russia have come to other countries. I know last October in Greece, Alexia and some Greece professionals hosted a European camp meeting. And just recently in Mexico, a group of directors were able to see the camps there and had a wonderful time. So this kind of exchange has been going on, and it's been great, and it should continue. Next slide. We know that the very best way to, we'll go on to the next slide, please. We know that the very best way to share and to learn is in person. And we would all love to be in those places, but it just isn't practical. And it's been especially difficult the last 2 years with COVID. And as we get back on track, we know that the cost of travel is prohibitive. It's difficult for us to go to other countries, particularly people on a restricted budget, and that's most camp directors. So if there were another way that we could be director to director and to travel to another country and to visit another camp, wouldn't that be a good idea? Next slide, please. So we decided that we would try to have a camp professional study tour. Now, this is first and foremost an opportunity, just like this academy, for us to come together and to share together. It isn't really a marketing video. It isn't intended to be a staff training video. This is camp director to camp director. How do you do it at your camp? You know, because we all handle the same issues, don't we? We bring children in, we give them leadership, we show them, we feed them, we accommodation, we run program. How do you do those things? And the more we can understand how things happen in different countries, the more informed we will be about making our best choices as well. And so we figured out how to do camp tours. Next slide, please. So it's a very simple 3-part step process. Zoom has become a second way of life for many of us, and it is an opportunity for us to see one another and to talk with one another. And so the 3 steps are simply this: let's have an interview, director to director, and learn about your camp. Step 2, with that, then let's go and see your camp. Walk us around your campsite and tell us a little bit more about the things that we talked about in the interview. And number 3, let's take the interview and let's take all of this great video and picture footage that you've got of your camp and put it together to make a permanent record of a tour of your particular camp. And so we edit it together and then follow up to make sure that it's the way you want it to be. And voila, we have an opportunity for anybody to go on a camp tour of an ICF camp. Next slide. As I say, the first part is the Zoom call interview. And so for this particular one, you can see that I'm stuck in my basement here. I'm at exactly the same picture of me sitting at my computer and speaking with Alexia. And we will record the interview, and we have a set of questions that you can receive beforehand, and Alexia sort of knew where the interview was going, but of course it was just a conversation between directors, and so sometimes the conversation drifted into other topics as well. And then next slide. And then Alexia went through her folders and pulled out a bunch of pictures of Delphicamp, and then also charged one or more of her staff to wander around camp in the summertime and say, we need a picture of this because I talked about this, and let's show the kids at the waterfront because that's one of the things that the camp directors want to see. So we prepared some footage, a little bit of video footage, and that all got dumped into a folder and came back to me, and then went on to the editor. Next slide, please. The editor was Tom Knowlton, and we all know Tom Knowlton because we just saw some of his work. He produced the ThanksToCamp video, and so you know how professional and skilled he is. He also took all of the footage from the ICC 2008 and produced a wonderful video of that Congress, and it too is on the ICF YouTube channel for you to look at anytime. So that happened, and we produced an English language video. And then, with the help of River and Ksenia Bejanar from Russia, we put captions in Russian and captions in Spanish onto it. We can do more, and all we really need are volunteers to say, let me help you put that into Mongolian or into Chinese, and we can do that as well. So going forward, we'll be able to put captions on any number of the videos that we produce. Next slide. So what's next? And what's next is an opportunity to sign up. You can register and say, you know, Jorgi, I'd love to chat with you or with somebody else who doesn't have a beard, and we'd like to talk about my camp and share my camp with the rest of the world. And so you can sign up and register for that very easily, and take a look at where we're going to go in the future. These camps from Bali and Russia and Canada have all said, and Spain and Mexico have all said, sure, let's do this, and we will make an effort to do an interview, add some footage, edit it together, and provide a professional camp tour for the future. So there it is, Gabs. It really is easy to do and so much fun. And with the help of professionals like Ksenia and River and Tom, we have a great piece of history.
Wow, my heart is pounding, Jorgi. I I just know my love of going on those camp tours that you talked about with ICF, particularly with ICC, with congresses, and as well as my love for watching YouTube videos of behind the scenes on how things are done. And I think as camp professionals, a lot of us work with people for period of the time, but then sometimes we're just isolated and don't have that opportunity to see how do other camps do what they do. So
Right.
we're going to keep you here. And because this is our moment where we're going to break off into our breakout room. So if I could invite my teammates back, River and Olga, to the stage and head on to our next slide, Simon. We're just going to go over what we'll be doing in our breakout rooms. So English speakers, stay here with me. We're going to continue and watch our videos and have some questions for Alexia and for Jorgi. But I'll pass this on to River to share what's next for the people that will be joining him.
Gracias, Gabs. Bueno, después de esa increíble introducción de lo que son los Camp Study Tours por Jorgi, ahorita vamos a pasar a los Breakout Rooms, donde nos veremos los hispanoparlantes por un lado y aquellos que hablan ruso por otro lado, y los de inglés se quedarán aquí en la sesión principal para poder ver dos videos donde podemos aprender un poco sobre los campamentos Grecia y específicamente sobre Delphicamp, el campamento de Alexia. Back to you, Gabs.
Thanks. And same with Olga, if you can also join me on this stage to share a little bit what you'll be doing in your breakout room.
Да, конечно, через несколько минут мы с вами разойдемся в сессионные комнаты. Английский язык остается здесь же, в этом зале вместе с Алексией и Jorgi. Мы вас приглашаем в сессионную комнату на русском языке, где посмотрим видео о греческих лагерях, посмотрим видео о лагере Делфи, и после этого можно будет обсудить какие-то вопросы, задать вопросы. Возможно, у нас с вами возникнут идеи и вопросы, которые мы адресуем нашим коллегам в англоговорящем зале. После этого короткое видео ThanksToCamp, и будет возможность вернуться обратно в общий зал для продолжения обсуждения. Gabs?
Thanks, Olga. Simon, we can go to our next slide. And again, if you're an English speaking individual, you can stay here with me, and everybody else can click on the breakout room. Perfect. And wonderful. So as people are moving on to their breakout rooms, I'd like to invite Alexia to the stage to join me.
Hi, Gabs. Hello, everyone.
Hello. We'll just get you pinned so we make sure. There we go. Alexia, this is so exciting. So you're in the position of the test pilot camp to do this camp tour study. Now, for me, this is so important. It's not just important to obviously get, we want to see what you're doing, but for camp directors around the world, even if our camps aren't the same, we certainly can get inspired by each other. But I also know camp directors are very, very busy. So this is really important, but we're really busy. How did you make time to do this project during the summer?
It was a good thing that Jorgi had warned me before that after 3 years of discussing this fantastic idea he had, this is the year to do it. So after the first week of camp, when we started camp, I let 1 week go by so we can get, all relaxed in our roles. I started taking pictures and videos of the camp, and it took me like, I used 2 days, 2 afternoons, not 2 whole days, to take the videos I wanted. And then I was lucky because one of my CITs, our CIT program, we call it Star Guards. It sounds more romantic in Greek. But anyway, one of them had brought his drone. So he took some very nice videos from above, and we could use those ones as well. So thank you, Konstantinos, for taking these videos. I can thank him enough. So that was it. 2 afternoons. The drone, well, if we didn't have the drone, we wouldn't have this video. It's fine, you don't need to have a drone. And then maybe another afternoon to choose some photos that are representative of specific camp areas that Jorgi wanted insider look, like inside the kitchen, inside the bathrooms, how do they look and stuff. Yeah,
Wow.
it was fun. And then, you know, the interview with Jorgi, who doesn't like to talk to Jorgi? It took us like 1 hour in total, the whole interview. He sort of told me, I'm going to ask you about this, this, and this. Be prepared. And I said, okay, I have to remember, when did our camp start? I have to remember the first year and, you know, numbers. It's not my forte. But other than that, yes.
and for I love that. And I think, you know, first of all, I also have a staff member that has a drone, and she wanted to get this drone. We financially supported her, so we sort of did half and half, and we said, as long as you take some videos of camp, I would have just paid the whole thing. It is probably one of the best marketing tools that we have. It makes our camp look so good. Our camp looks good, but the drone makes it look even better, I think. So for you with this experience, what are some of those side effects in a positive way that came out that you didn't expect, you know? So in doing this project, what are some things that came about that you were like, I didn't expect to have learned this, or I didn't expect to have this sort of effect?
So we are a small camp. I don't really have a big budget to have a professional photographer every year to take pictures. So I realized that it's been a while since we've done that when looking for photos. So I said, okay, this is something we need to do again. But really, it was nice to talk to the staff about this project and get them a bit involved and ask them, what do you think? Should this side, what looks best? What should I not forget? Because for me, the camp, I've been there, you know, 26 years, 27, I don't know how many now. And sometimes I overlook, my eyes are used to what I'm seeing. So I needed fresh eyes. So it was nice to have these conversations. Yeah,
that's one. I remember having a wedding at our camp, and there was this pile of wood, 2 piles of wood that were just standing there. And the photographer took these gorgeous pictures of the bride and groom in between these piles of wood. And afterwards he said, that was so thoughtful to put this imagery of these 2 piles of wood. And all I kept thinking is, we haven't moved these 2 piles of wood. It's been 2 years. We need to get rid of these piles of wood. And he saw it as this magical piece.
Or take more pictures in front of them.
Well, yes, they're there now. This is a hot spot for us at our camp. I really like involving staff in these type of projects. I think our staff members, you know, they love our camp, and that's the little, you know, their little home away from home, but they don't realize that we're part of such a bigger community. And sometimes when you see that you're part of such a bigger community, it makes you feel even prouder to be doing what we're doing. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to do this, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and showing us that we can do it too. Because I truly do feel that not only for our camps to get better, but also to help our staff feel pride for our camp. This is a wonderful program. I was wondering if you could help us introduce the first video that we're about to see.
Well, yes. So the first video was created by Jorgi, John Jorgenson, and it talks about camps in Greece in general, so that you get an idea of the whole setting that my little camp is in.
Okay.
As the butterfly flies from the mountains to the plain, as the butterfly flies through the sun, the snow, the rain. Let's celebrate how we differ. Let's celebrate what we share. Let's show the world together.
One of the wonderful things about being part of an international and multicultural family of camp professionals is the opportunity to explore the many different faces of camping across the world. What is it like at your camp? Produces so many interesting responses ideas, and insights into how camps have evolved within the social framework of the country and within the creative minds of camp directors. The ICF Camp Study Tour program is a project to gather these responses in the form of interviews and pictures. So as the butterfly flies across the world from the mountain to the plain, let's celebrate how we differ. Let's celebrate what we share. Let's begin our ICF Camp Study Tour with an overview of camps and camping in Greece. Some of the footage here is the result of an in-person study tour of various camps by a group of camp professionals at a recent European camp meeting. One of the hosts of the meeting was Alexia Sideri, who is the owner of Delphicamp and a board member of ICF. The origins of camp in Greece are based in ancient myth, with the legend of Chiron as the first director of a camp in the Pelion forests, with some campers who went on to do great things. The first camps in the modern era appeared early in the last century under the leadership of the Scouts, the YMCA, and the Church. Very early on, these organizations gathered together into an association of not-for-profit camps and established their place in Greek society. By the end of the Second World War, the Greek government had formally recognized the value of the camp experience within its social welfare policies, and the impact of those policies have been very important in the future of camps in Greece. Private camps began to emerge, and the growth of camping really took hold from 1960 to the present day. Camps take many forms: private, independent camps, not-for-profit, and religiously affiliated camps are all quite common. One difference is the number of camps that are corporation-based, trade union-based, and government-based. This has led to a camp institution that is deeply embedded into the social fabric of the country. Camps run through the summer months of July and August with a full range of programs that would be very familiar to camp directors everywhere. As in many European camps, the opportunity to offer cultural programming and language instruction is much higher than in some camps elsewhere. Two government departments, the Department of Social Services and the Department of Employment Services, both offer programs in support of families wishing to send their children to camp. They offer vouchers to any family to select a camp of their choice. These vouchers are open to children at risk, children with special needs, and any other Greek children wishing to go to camp. One source of funding comes from the business community of Greece. Every August, every business owner in Greece counts the number of employees in their business and returns a contribution based upon that number to support children to attend camp. Essentially, any child who wishes to experience camp may do so, at least until all the camps are full. The result is that almost 40% of all Greek children are able to attend some type of camp every summer. What are the souvenirs and takeaways from our tour of Greek camps? A long and rich history of camps and camping, significant penetration of camps into Greek society, government recognition of camp value and values, support of youth by all businesses, strong community of camp professionals, and a rich variety of camp operations and programming. Clearly, there is lots to see and learn. Let's begin another ICF Camp Study Tour.
Thank you so much, and it's such a nice way of introducing our next video. which is our Delphicamp that Alexia has been at for some time of her life. And this is a camp that I've heard so much about and have yet to visit. So I'm so looking forward to seeing a little bit behind the scenes when you're ready, Simon.
Across the world, some camps are small and informal, others are large and structured. But every camp greets campers to their site, provides shelter, food service, leadership, and program. The ICF Camp Study Tour videos attempt to capture the common elements of all camps, as well as the differences that leadership, philosophy, geography, and culture bring to the world of camping.
Today, we travel to Greece to meet Alexia Sideri, owner and director of Delphicamp. Hi, Alexia.
Hi, Jorgi. Thank you for visiting my camp. I'm very happy to show you around.
I have been wanting to have a little tour of your camp for many years. It's been too long. We've met in so many different parts of the world, but I haven't been to Greece, and so this is a great day for me.
This is your chance, Jorgi. Ask me anything.
All right. Well, thanks for taking a little time. I know it's a busy season preparing and delivering camp program, but we want to take a little peek behind the scenes and hear from you as a camp director and some of your perspectives on how you came to be that camp director at Delphicamp. Let's start with some details of the camp. Name, just where you're located, and any sort of general background about the camp.
Delphicamp was founded in 1993 by my mother and father. They sent my sister and I to camp 1 year when we were younger, and they realized that it's a nice business to have a camp. I don't know why. So they did some market research to determine if it is actually a good idea and where the camp should ideally be located. They created a business plan, and about 3 years after that, the camp was built from scratch just outside Galaxidi in Greece. Galaxidi is a small town with a long nautical history that is very near Delphi, which was considered by the ancient Greeks as the center of the world. That is why our camp is named Delphicamp.
The center of a camp world for many children, I'm sure. So you were there as a camper. Did you go to Delphicamp as a camper, or did you go to a different camp?
No. The camp was created when I was just about 17 and a half, 18. So I went to camp when I was 13, 14. So the first year I was a counselor. The second year I was a unit head or head counselor. I'm not sure exactly of the name in English. And the third year I started working inside the office. And that was it. I was never able to leave the office again.
So here you are now, director. Tell us more about the camp scene in Greece. Where do your campers come from? How do you find your staff? How do you build the camp community there?
The private camps in Greece are about 60 all over Greece. There are also public camps owned by ministries or public companies like the water company and the electricity company and the telephone company and the church. The campers are 6 to 16 years old, and they come through the social security offices of their parents or through a special program that sends kids to camp as long as their parents are unemployed or employed but with a low family income.
Do those children build a relationship with Delphicamp? So, do they come year after year, or is it a new group of children each year?
Mostly they come every year because they come from around our camp, let's say in the major cities around our camp and all the little villages, and they bring their friends as well.
I'm excited to take a walk around. But before we do that, maybe just a sense of the physical space. How large is
is the site and the property? What access to either public space or other space do you have? How many children come to camp? Give us a sense of the physical.
So the camp is at 10,000 square meters. I hope I'm saying this right. The cabins of the campers are brick houses with roof tiles in the original architectural style of Galaxidi, because the town of Galaxidi, that is very near us, is protected architecturally. So we couldn't have anything else. It had to be brick-built houses with roof tiles. It is walking distance from the beach. We have access to two different ones. And it is 15, 20 minutes from the nearest hospital.
Do the children arrive by bus, by car from the parents, or in some other way?
So the children are brought to the camp by their parents, because although they register for camp online, they have to deliver to the camp specific papers signed by them on the day. And it is much easier to just bring the kids to camp. They all live around the camp, at the most a 2-hour drive. So they just bring the kids to camp, and they usually, before COVID, get to see the camp. We used to allow them to come inside the camp and look anywhere they like. Inside the cabins, inside the bathrooms, outside the kitchen. No one is allowed inside the kitchen, so only outside. But from the window, they could look inside and see how it was. And this way, they felt more relaxed, more comfortable, and they could ask any questions they had at that time.
Maybe just one more question in relation to choosing Delphi. What is your collective, your staff philosophy or mission that you try to put out in your messages?
From our part, we try to convey the message that we want to provide a safe environment for campers to spend an enjoyable summer. We want to create the circumstances and the atmosphere that will allow the camper to discover new activities, new friends, new characteristics about themselves. From the parents' perspective, they choose the camp that is closer to their home. And especially for Delphicamp, we are walking distance from the beach, and we also have a swimming pool.
All right, so let's start right at the front gate. As parents drive up, you're standing there and all your staff in your Delphi shirt, and what are you seeing and what does it look like?
So our camp is on a hill, so it's not flat. This is the basic characteristic that some people are surprised to see, because you cannot tell on the photos on the website. So when they arrive the first day, as soon as the camper enters the camp, they are introduced to their counselor. Most probably they already know them from last year, but if they are new, they introduce to each other, and they go to the group. There, the camper gets introduced to the other kids, and there are some activities happening to, help them get to know each other better.
Tell us a little bit more about cabins or accommodation and the facilities there. What do the children have in their home away from home?
So in Greek, it's called spitakia, which means exactly little houses. And the names of the groups are after constellations and planets. The little brick houses with the roof tiles are divided into 2 rooms with a wall in the middle. Each room has a group inside. Each group has at least one counselor that sleeps in that room with the campers. The rooms themselves have only wooden beds in normal adult size and cabinets for their clothes, and their luggage can go under the bed.
Do the campers provide their bedding, or is that part of the camp service?
The Greek campers have to bring their own bed sheets, towels, and even pillow to make it more sanitary. Our international campers, because it's more difficult for them to carry all these things, we provide them for them. Any bathrooms, washing spaces, showers are in separate houses around the camp, where the campers can go and use them. Nothing else is inside the room where they sleep.
So the first aid and health service at Delphi, you said that the hospital is nearby, but do you have a nurse or a first aid person on the camp property?
We are obliged to have a doctor and a nurse. For the past 3-4 years, we're obliged to have a psychologist or social worker. The doctor is basically for emergencies or something more difficult that the nurse cannot handle. The nurse is there to give out any medications that are taken by the kids and to clean, kids that have scraped their knees. There is a special area that we have created for our psychologist, and when the kids go there, they do experiential activities that help them realize things about themselves, that help them bond as a group, or that teaches them manners, being social, stuff like that. And it's so interactive. They enjoy it, and I think they understand the value it has for them.
You bet. Can we go into your dining area and explore the kitchen and meet the kitchen staff and find out the favorite foods for Greek campers?
Our kitchen is equipped to feed 1,000 people. We make about 250 portions at every meal, depending on the numbers of campers we have at each session. The dining area, it's not completely closed. It has walls on 2 sides, and the other 2 are open. Indoor, outdoor dining. Now, eating. We have for lunch and dinner 1 dish. There's no choice of what they will have. This is basically because if we give them choice, they will only have pasta. This way, they get to eat a little bit of everything. Of course, the menu is made in such a way that they will eat. For example, when we have like lentil soup as a main course, they eat everything. Everything. There's nothing left. There are no leftovers with the lentil soup. We have the things that normally kids would eat, like burgers or chicken with potatoes in the oven, and of course pasta, but not every day. With every meal, we serve a Greek salad and fruit. And the counselors, so they just put the trays on the table and they sit down. And then the unit heads and other people who help around in the dining area go around with the salad, serving salad and the fruit. When that is over, we always put music. They expect us to put music, and they dance. There are specific dances that are created for the camp that are so easy that anyone can pick them up even from the first time they see them.
It sounds like an Alexia tradition. That's great. And how many staff are back in the kitchen helping out?
So it's 3 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. 1 cutting all the salads, 1 dishwashing, and our cook.
So what can we do? Take us on a tour of daytime activities.
During the weekdays, after breakfast and after morning cleanup, we gather to go to the beach. We separate the camp in 2 groups. The first group leaves and the second group does activities at the camp, and then they switch. This is because we don't want everyone to be at the beach at the same time, so we can better take care of them and be watchful. At the beach, we have a huge inflatable slide. They may play games with their counselors, but usually they like to swim in the water and refresh and talk and be with each other. Some kids bring their snorkels, and they have brought octopuses back to camp for us to cook. If they catch a baby, we tell them they should throw it back in the water. Only if they catch a big one, only then. Anyway, also we have, in Greece we call them canoes. I understand that you call them kayaks. It's the one that you don't go inside. You are on the top of it, on. Our sea is easy there because there are no waves. Usually it's calm. On the days that it's very wavy, we just don't do it.
Is this a public beach or is it part of the property itself?
It's a public beach. In Greece, there are no private beaches. It's not
Of
allowed.
course.
But it's at the end of the road. And basically, we are always by ourselves. And whenever we have found visitors, we just make so much noise that they leave.
Got it. So while all of this is happening down at the water, what's going on back up at Delphi in camp?
In the morning, they do activities with the counselors that are there with them. They're practicing their skits, their songs. They are at the arts and crafts station. Any activity may happen, or maybe they have the chess tournament, and this is going on as well, or the ping pong tournament. And then they switch. After the beach, there is a time where we call it free time. It's the time where everyone takes a shower, and at 2, we have our lunch. So let's say from 1 to 2, we have the pop-up activities. This was designed to be like activities that happen one-off during the session. And suddenly we say, in 20 minutes, go to the shade under the big tree, and you're going to do something with this counselor. And this something can be, I will teach you 5 words in Chinese. We will create paper planes and we will have a competition. It's a storytelling time or whatever. So then we have lunch, and after lunch, there is a siesta time, 3 to 5. It's like the most warm time of the day, and the kids have to stay inside the rooms with their counselor. In there, some people sleep, some people don't, and they just practice their skits, their songs, just play quiet games in the room. Then we have dessert when it's 5 o'clock, and then the evening activities happen. Every day, there are 3 activities planned for each group. So, for example, if you have swimming pool the first hour, then maybe the second hour you don't have anything, so you have time to shower. And then you have, in the third hour, arts and crafts. Every team does 3 activities every day, and some may have 2. Because if you have swimming pool at the last hour, then you have done 3 activities during the day.
It says after 5 o'clock, you've had some food at 5. Dessert.
So each activity is 40 minutes, and there's a 5-minute break between.
So it's going to take us till about 8 o'clock?
Yes, 7:30, everything stops. They rush to have showers or whatever. And at 8 o'clock, we lower the flag and go to dinner. It's later on, because if we serve it earlier, they will be hungry when they go to sleep.
And it must be a little cooler at 8 also.
It is a lot cooler. The best time is then. After we have our dinner and we dance, our 3 dances at the dining area, then we prepare for the evening entertainment. And it starts around 9:15 maybe. That time is the coolest and most enjoyable of the whole day. So we can play our treasure hunt, we can do our theater night, we can have our Delphi Vision, where it's the singing night. We can play games for the whole camp that are like treasure hunt, but it's something different. We have created games for the whole camp, and we play them every year, and maybe we make some changes, maybe we find something new, but a lot of them we play again and again because the kids really like them. So that finishes at 10:30.
It seems that every camp has some unique traditions. Are there any special things that come to mind that every camper or staff would say, I remember when?
If something happens every year, I would say it's what we do the last night when they have to leave the next day. We have Delphi Awards. There's a list of categories that are serious or not. All the teams nominate people for these categories, and they can be from their own group or from all over the camp. And that happens on the last day, the award ceremony. Do you want me to tell you about the last night? What we do?
Yes, please.
We gather at the basketball court, but we don't open the lights so we can see the stars. And the teams sit on the ground in circles with their own groups and discuss about what happened during the session, the highlights, let's say, with their counselor. And then they decide what they want to share with the rest of the camp. So we have a microphone there playing music, and they can request songs to be playing all night as a soundtrack when they're talking. And every now and then a camper comes to the microphone and shares a story, something that happened, or just they do, I don't know what's this called in English, when you say, I dedicate this song to my best friend, Jorgi. Yes, they do stuff like that.
Well, Alexia, this has been great. I want to give you a final opportunity to say anything at all about camp, about camping, about ICF. It's the last night. We're all sitting in circle, and you are able to tell us a little bit about how you're feeling about the future of camping.
So I want to share with you my ThanksToCamp. ThanksToCamp, my parenting is more intentional, and it focuses on values, ethics, on being and celebrating your true self. The second thing I want to share with you is my wish for camps and camping globally. My camp idol is not you, Jorgi, it's Sako Tanaka from Japan. She is a true visionary, a pioneer and a women's rights advocate. Because of her, I wish for camps to experientially teach campers about the equality among people and, of course, world peace.
I hear Sako's voice, and don't worry, Sako is my idol and mentor as well. So that's great. Alexia, this has been wonderful. I hope that we can bring all of ICF to come and swim in the ocean, in the sea beside Delphicamp, and to dance after every meal and to visit with you. This has been wonderful. Thank you very much. Thanks to Camp and thanks to Delphicamp.
Wow. I got teary-eyed on this one too. That was absolutely beautiful. We wanted to open up to our audience today to ask any questions you would like to ask to Alexia and or Jorgi about this experience. But before we get to those questions, I just want to say, Alexia, thank you so much. We've worked together for quite a few years now. And it was really nice to see that side of what you do and your passion in what you do. And that inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing. So I just want to say thank you. Your camp is truly an inspiration. And
now I will start having tears.
That's what ICF does to us. There's lots of tears. Jorgi, for you, now that we watched this video and the interview, for you, what was it like for you to, because you and Alexia know each other, but what was it like for you to interview her about her camp?
I hope it came through in the video that it was a very relaxing and easy conversation. You're right, Gabs, so many of us work with one another at an ICF or at a committee level, but to have a one-to-one conversation about, just tell me about your camp, and to see people in their home setting and reflecting on the thing that has brought them to camping, brought them to ICF, brought them to this community. That is a real gift, and it was a great friend-to-friend chat and a lovely project.
I couldn't agree more. I'm thinking about camps that are are, interested in doing something like this, but it still feels a little overwhelming. It still feels like, where do I start? How do I do this? Alexia, what's your suggestions to people that are like, this is interesting, but I'm not quite sure if we can do this?
Well, if my little camp can do this, I'm sure that any other camp can do it. Right,
It's
Jorgi?
true, Alexia is a one person show most of the year, and it really is 2 hours out of your life to have a chat with an old bearded guy, and then pull together some footage, and ICF volunteers do the rest. Sorry, Alexia, I didn't mean to jump in on you.
No, it's okay. For me, what I thought would be the difficult part was to gather all the video and photos, because as I told you, I don't have a professional photographer, videographer every year at the camp, so I didn't know how that would work out. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go with the camp's camera, which I forgot to tell you before. I also gave it to some staff so they can take things from their point of view. And thank God for the drone. Everything worked out fine.
My brain goes too often to staff training, and for me, my mind was going a mile a minute when I was watching your video, and I was texting. So Jackie is also watching right now, who I work with, who's also my mother, and we were talking. Incidentally, she's also my mother, and we were talking about this, and we're looking also just at your schedule and how it's planned because of weather and temperature and how the heat. Yes. Exactly. And in my head, I was like, this is the type of thing I want to share with some of my staff, maybe more of my leadership team members, to help them think about our organization and how are we being intentional, and maybe where are some places that we could shift a little bit to accommodate our campers and their staff members. I think this is not only something that can help camp directors, but it can really help, I think, start conversations about why we do what we do within our organizations. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. We're getting some really positive feedback also on the
Francesca
chat
in the comments, if you saw, she also has a relatively a camp like my size camp in another part of Greece. So she understands exactly what I'm talking about. About our daily schedule, the thing that I find some people find hard is when we go to sleep at night. But for the Greek kids, this is early. For in the summertime, when they don't have school, they stay up until very late, which I personally don't understand. My kid doesn't do it, except when she's at camp, because she wants to stay more. And she adjusts to this because she sleeps at 8 every day. At 8 is dinner time at camp. So we need some days there. Other than that, only the international kids need some time to adjust as well. And we try to bring the schedule like half an hour earlier for them until they are more ready to follow our program. But of course, anyone who has jet lag goes to sleep when they need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's again, it's about the intentionality, and I think so many camp professionals try to lead with intentionality, and when you do get the behind the scenes understanding, I think it just helps us get creative in how we can do what we do. Because even if you didn't go to this specific camp when you're a child, you still inherit this program. You inherit how things are done, which is why I love new staff members that come to my camp, because they look at things and say, why? And if I can't answer it, it's a good chance that we need to look at it a little bit further. Any final thoughts from either of you about this experience?
Well, I can't wait to see what's next, because you said some camps there. I saw it on the slide, some more camps, but who will be the second episode of ICF Camp Study Tours? Can't wait for that.
Yeah, for me too, again, you can see the difference between my modest effort about camps in Greece and Tom's really professional editing and the front end piece of the spectrum of camps that are out there. Just look at the people that are on this video, and I know many of the camps that are represented by these people, and they are each in their own way wonderful and worth sharing. So I really hope that we can build towards a library of different size camps, different camps in different cultures and countries, and that it will be a resource for young camp directors, as well as a chance to see friends in their home setting.
And truly, you know, this would have been very difficult 10 years ago to do. You know, with smartphones in particular. Smartphones are such wonderful cameras. Right now, the technology has come such a long way that they almost look like professional cameras. So I think truly with the support of ICF volunteers, Tom that does the editing, the wonderful interviewer, I think all of this together can bring us closer together. So I just, on that note, Alexia, I want to say thank you so much for the work that you did, for taking that first step, for joining us today. It's truly an inspiration, and I think it's truly a seed that you're both planting that's going to benefit our community. So thank you again. And Jorgi, what about camps that do want to participate? How do they get involved?
Well, Gabs, funny you should ask. You know, some of those interview questions, some of the background tour pictures that we want, it's all described on the ICF website. And there's a link under the area of the program called Camp Tours, Camp Study Tours, where you can go and simply click, and there is a quick little Google form to put you in touch with me and with the Study Tours Committee, and we will get you on a calendar. We can talk about, I mean, we don't need to do it tomorrow. We can pick a time at your convenience when we can arrange for the audio, the interview portion, and then from there you have your summer and gather things together, so that on the other side of that, then we have some footage that we can work with and put something together. So a direct email to me or a filling out the form is all that's necessary.
Yes.
Do we have some time to answer some questions? I see something here on the chat.
Yes.
See?
We do have some, actually, we do have some time, and I'm happy that some people are asking some questions. Alexia, do you want to read out the first question?
So the first question was about how long are the sessions. Now they are 15 days. They used to be 22 days. Because when the programs were established that send kids to camp, they knew that pedagogically you learn new habits, good ones I hope, after 20 days. So they made camp 22 days, just to make sure. Now with budget cuts and everything, they figured out that they can send more kids to camp if they reduce the number of days. So they make it 2 weeks, which also is an adjustment to parents, where they feel that they cannot be away from the kids for 3 weeks. So 2 weeks is like a good compromise for everyone. About another question is about what's my favorite camp program at Delphi, and I replied that the decathlon. This is a thing that we do that lasts for 2 days, and it can last for 3 if we have time. And it's like sort of 10 different things that must happen and the teams must participate in that are not athletic activities, although we call it decathlon. It's just 10 activities. And it's like decorating the room inside, like presenting a structure at the beach, or making an entrance when we're going to raise the flag or lower the flag in the afternoon. Things like that, but it involves the kids. It's very creative. They need to think out of the box to participate. And it's a lot of fun for everyone. It's very tiring, a lot of fun. I don't see something else. If you see something.
Yes, there is a couple more. I sent you one, but there's
how many
and-
kids are at the camp? So
Yes.
our camp is for 150 to 180 campers per session, per 15-day session.
nice.
So when it is not summer, the camp is closed. I have no permits to operate it during the winter time, and also the camp is not winterized, so we could not stay there. There is warm water, but other than that, there's no heating.
That's and for some camps that's a familiar way of running their organization.
I don't understand the question you sent me, so can you explain if you understand?
I'm not quite sure. So we had somebody that asked, what a great family legacy. Do you think your family brings a different experience from other provider sectors?
So
I guess,
what's the difference from other camps in Greece?
yes,
Or from other, so we're talking about camps only.
yes.
Yes, so what distinguishes our camp from others is that we are very near to the beach. So we go every day on foot. What happens with other camps, if they are further away, they would need to take a bus or something and they wouldn't go every day. So a parent that needs for their child to be at the beach every day, and we go Monday to Friday. We don't go during the weekend, just in case there are, other people there. We want to be alone. So that's what we do every day, for sure. As I explained to a group of Chinese that were at our camp one year, and they said, why are we going every day? I mean, we went one day, check. I said, it doesn't work like that. The sea has iodine, and the more you are in there, the better your immune system is. And in the wintertime, you don't get sick. That's why we count how many times we have went to the beach for a swim. For anyone who doesn't know, yes.
You're
On a
going because
related
it's
question-
good for you.
On a related
So-
question, Alexia,
Mhm.
I see people, Joe has asked about safety and supervision at the beach. Can you
So
tell us a little bit more?
our camp director, chief, is also a lifeguard certified for sea, because it's a different diploma than for only the swimming pool. And some of our counselors are also lifeguards for swimming pools. Not all need to be. Our beach is shallow, so we don't need to have like something to show until where they can go, because we have the slide, and they know that the slide is the deepest they can go to swim, unless they are with our chief and they can swim together. There's a specific thing we do. So at the beach, there are some, we explain to all the counselors how they are supposed to watch the children in the water, standing, not sitting down or lying down, sunbathing, being with their group and looking at them all the time, no phone at the beach. And of course, it's shallow enough. So, and our lifeguard, we have a tower, so he can watch from above. Really, you cannot lose anyone. It's important. And we split the camp in half, and we go in groups, so it's easier like that.
We have a great question from one of our co-hosts, Olga. Do you train your staff before the summer, or is this during the summer? And how many of them are there on camp?
So we do a staff training. This year it's 20 to 22 of May. We go to the camp. Finally, after 2 years, we will go to camp, because the past 2 years it was only online and lasted longer. But now we go for 3 days. Before that, we will have some asynchronous training with videos they can watch on their own time, so that we can go by some rules. And then I expect them to know everything when we get there, because we're going to do some more practical things while there. So that's one. And then the training continues throughout camp. We continue to say things, explain things every day, every week, every month. our director chooses first from those who participated in the in-person training. And then we fill the spots we need with other people that we know that have been to the camp before, and then totally new people. For example, the social worker, if he or he doesn't know everything before, or didn't know about the training in May and missed it, it's okay. We can say some things while at camp. So I see Carolina's question. Do the kids choose who they want to share the room? Do they choose the group, and can they choose the activities, etc.? So when they register, they tell us who their friends are. So we make sure that they are in the same room, as long as they have the same age, not big age differences. And yeah, so they don't choose the group, they choose their friends, and we try to put them all together. As for the activities, the schedule is set. So we have 3 activities every afternoon for the groups, and they circle around the activities during a week. They don't choose, but they can go to the person who makes the schedule and say, we really love going to that place, and can you put us again? And it happens. Swimming pool is for everyone. They go at least 2 out of 3 days, because this is the absolute favorite activity. Yeah. Do we have more?
We have a couple more, and then we'll wrap it up. So one, do you own the slide, and how do you control other people from using it? So I think is this a private beach, or how do you manage other individuals that come to this beach?
It's not a private beach. We don't mind if someone uses it. We mind if someone comes with a knife and breaks it, but it hasn't happened yet. So it's a secluded place. Not many people will go there, especially because they know that we will go there and it will be noisy.
Yes, it works in your favor. And
about the canoes or kayaks, we have like a stand that locks them in. So those we don't want people to use, because they can go very far inside and maybe something will happen to them. So it's just making sure that no one gets them.
That makes sense. And then how many campers do you have in a cabin group at a time?
It depends. It can be from 10 to 15 with 1 or 2 counselors. The rooms are quite spacious. Maybe it didn't show in the video, but with the COVID rules, we just moved around the beds, and still we were okay with the distances and how many people in a room. We have a specific group of girls that they come every year and they bring their friends. So now we made a special room for them. We had to build it specially. And that's because we used to have 14 groups, and now we have 15 because of them, because they want to be all together, and they are 19. So it's 19 of them and a counselor that has known them for many years, and she knows how to control this group, and it's fine. They're okay in there. It's a bigger room with more beds, and but it can be 10. It can be 10 to 15. That's our normal size, because Greek families, they cannot. Sometimes they bring the kids and then they say, oh, no, I cannot, and they take them back. So from 15, when we start, we can be easily 12 or 10 after 5 days, let's say, for no reason at all. So that's why we have 15, just to make sure that the group works and the activities will work.
Oh, wow. Just for that flexibility.
Wait until that group takes over, when they all become staff age, and they'll just run the camp for you.
I think exactly. I think that we have the perfect question to end our Q&A section from Olga. In the video, there was information about international campers. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? How have these campers found you? How do you accommodate them? How do you help those families feel safe?
Yeah. So this program happens on and off. It's not like an established thing. In what sense? We don't have the same people coming over and over again due to various reasons. We used to have kids from Canada that were of Greek origin, and the ministry would bring them to Greece, and they would go to various camps. So when that program stopped, suddenly we didn't have an international program. Then we had like a collaboration with campers from China. We all know what happened in 2020. So that stopped. And this year we were discussing with a group from Russia. And now you can understand that our international program is going to be suffering this year because I don't know who can travel. Other groups also don't know if they can travel. Yes, but there's always hope. It happens on the second half of August, and we adjust the whole program happening in Greek and in English. For example, all the announcements are always in English. If we have the Chinese translator, he can also say, but usually the kids get adjusted to it after a while, and it's okay. And all the games are played in 2 languages and are adjusted to be played by kids that don't speak Greek. It's fun for 15 days. I mean, it's at the end of the summer, and while you're getting fed up with camp, suddenly the international kids come, and it's, oh, refreshing. Let's start again now. Yes, very refreshing. We love our international. I hope something will happen for this year, but I understand if it cannot. Anyway.
That's what we do at camp, is we adapt. Well, thank you so much again, Olga. Thank you for that question. Wonderful question. And thank you, Jorgi and Alexia, for pursuing this project. I know it's been something that's been in the making for the past 3 years. And congratulations again on the fruition and all those other camps that will be partaking. Tom is going to be very busy with his editing.
Volunteers are welcome, please.
Volunteers are absolutely welcome.
And not just for captions, Gabs. You know, Tom would be happy to work with others and or other people that bring videography skills together. It's not hugely difficult, but it's beyond me, and so any help would be greatly appreciated.
And we're finding that more and more. I think this is the wonders of the internet. We're finding more and more that we are able to work with other people, and we get that wonderful shared community experience that volunteering can bring. That's why I volunteer for ICF. I learn from the people I work for. So if you are interested in helping with either graphics, video editing, translation, or you're just somebody that's very organized, we always need those individuals as well. Let us know. And actually, Simon, if you can throw us back up onto the our slideshow, we have a little piece where your feedback as participants really helps guide us in the direction, particularly with ICF Academy. We would like to hear from you, what are your thoughts and your opinions, so that one, that gives us motivation on what direction to go to, but then also to, you can also sign up to volunteer within this document. So if you want to take right now, use your phone for the QR code or take a screenshot so you can use it later, please do so. Your feedback is very valuable, just as our very own Dr. Gwen Powell has shared with us. And now I'd like to invite our president to the stage, Fari Gozet. He has a couple of words to share with all of us.
It was amazing to be a part of this camp tour. I recalled my first camp tour, and I remembered how important role Linda Pullum has played for us. I remember it was 2007, 2008, United States, Canada, and from after this, I had so many live camp visits with some friends here, like Bayamba, Valerie Costin, Jackie Rail, and Sally, Mary Helen. That was amazing. So what a breath of fresh air to spend time together in Greece today. During this time, while our world has serious issues that affect all of us, one after another, we hope that ICF Academy has helped you stay connected with your camp community. We hope it gives you energy, optimism, and serious tools to use every day at your camp to make the world a more peaceful and productive planet. As of today, ICF Academy has reached 400 people from 30 countries, and the ripple effects of the sharing will be long-lasting. As many of us move into full camp mode, know that ICF is here to help with the free ThanksToCamp marketing tools, a friend to call when you need to brainstorm, and social media to help celebrate your successes. Watch for more ways to be involved and tag us with your ThanksToCamp campaigns. I would like to say my special thanks to the ICF planning team, Alexia, Gabs, Simone, Jorgi, and Gwen, as well as all of the moderators, room hosts, and speakers from this season. So as ICF, we wish you all the best as you do the important work of camp leadership, and hope you will join us for next season starting in October. So we'll be back with very nice and useful and exciting themes, subjects, and we will evaluate also the summer season altogether. I wish all of you a great summer.
Thank you so much, Fari. It's always nice seeing you, and thank you for all the work that you've been doing throughout this year to help us all be connected. We're going to just head over to something kind of exciting. Guess what, everybody? We have sponsors, which means we're getting pretty important over here at the Academy. And our first sponsor is from Veristar. Now, this is kind of neat because you can actually take online courses with this organization to help your camp be safer. Risk management is one of the most important things that we do within our organization, and training our staff to do so. And guess what? We also get a 10% discount through our International Camping Fellowship. So with that discount, use the code ICF 2022. And for our next sponsor, Tawingo. So this is an international camp search engine. So if you want to be able to sign up your camp here so other people can find you or learn more about what they do, please check out their link, and that will be posted also in our show notes. And I love that little logo with the happy sun at the end. So check that one out. Lastly, ThanksToCamp. Guess what, team? ThanksToCamp is taking a little bit of a new direction, and it's launching very, very shortly. March 29th, we'll be receiving some videos on what direction we're going. But basically, this year we are creating a customizable marketing toolkit for all camps in multiple languages. We want you to be able to market and tell your story. And remember, when camps tell their story from around the world, it's no longer a marketing campaign, it truly becomes a movement. And we really do believe that every camp and every camper and young adult deserves to go to camp so that they can get that space where they can discover their true selves. I think we have a nice little video for all of you for ThanksToCamp.
Comparte.
Share.
Share your camp story through #ThanksToCamp.
Все вместе.
Together.
Together, we can bring awareness about the positive impact camps have on our community and the world.
世界.
Monde.
On its own, #ThanksToCamp is a free marketing tool to help tell your specific camp stories.
But when used with others, it blossoms into a movement.
Únete.
参与.
Cuddle. Join ThanksToCamp.
Let's share our collective story so that the world can truly hear us.
ThanksToCamp.
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 Thank you so much. And as I mentioned, March 29th and the beginning of April, we'll see all of these tools starting to pop up in different languages. And we're so excited to share that with all of you. From myself and everybody at ICF and ICF Academy, we wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful summer to come, or spring, or fall, or winter, or whatever season you're going into. Remember, we are all in our own little areas around the world, but we do share that one world, and sharing your story helps us bring us together. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next season.